If you can imagine this sea creature at the bottom of an ocean, and every so often you just kind of see the bottom of the ocean kind of move and shift. I called it my shame monster. And all I wanted to do for a long part of my life is keep that shame under wraps. I'm going to control shame. I didn't grow up in a family that was really, that shared and talked. If anything, I grew up in a family that was about secrecy. Anything that's happening in the home, we don't disclose, we don't share, we don't bring shame to the family. And one of the hardest things I had to say to my mother when I finally disclosed only a year ago that I was sexually abused is, although she did the best she could, there was components that lacked in nurturing that would be deemed sort of abandonment with emotion or void emotion, which then made me a very good candidate for a grooming pedophile that's looking to find their next prey. My abuse started when I was young, and it was the neighbor across the street who was this couple years older than my brother. There was 4 of us in my family, 4 siblings. Our family was very close, and there was a sister of my abuser that I hung out with quite a bit. And how we grew up in society and just kind of our exposure with neighborhoods and communities, there's no boundaries and there was no concerns for child safety like we do now. And this person was very much always invited into the house. There's very significant moments of abuse that stand out for me. And when I try to look at time frame, one of the things that I always found really strange is when I look at my childhood pictures, I never saw that child because I couldn't relate. And when I look back, it was around 9 and 10 when the abuse happened and carried on for several years. I didn't know what sexual abuse was. If anything, I thought, is this a relationship? Did I just learn a form of a relationship? Being exposed as a child to sexual trauma confuses. It shuts down the ability to understand relationship and connection for me, this is just my experience, as an adult. But I didn't know that's what was happening. And I never understood what connection was. And I remember a partner asking me once, who knows you intimately? And no one did, because intimacy is vulnerability and connection is vulnerability. However, when you are impacted by trauma, vulnerability is terrifying. It's terrifying to be exposed. It's terrifying to be seen. Because if you see me, you're going to see all these dark demons and things that I think and feel about myself, and I don't want to be exposed that way. Sports ended up being something that was a big part of my life, and certainly sports and activity were my coping. But sometimes to a fault where I just immersed myself entirely in something. But it also came with risky behavior. It also came with not caring about my body, not caring if anything happened to me. And that's just because of that shame. What really prompted me to start to get help is I joined policing and I was 22. And that is a significant responsibility. And I thought, how am I going to do this career choice? Nobody knows what's going on inside me except for me. And I'm a disaster. I'm struggling. I don't know how to exist. But I needed structure. I needed stability. I knew I needed to get help. And that's when the first time I started to get therapy. And that was 28 years ago today. I remember going to a couple appointments with my therapist. And she finally said to me, if you're not interested, don't waste my time. And it was that act of someone calling me out on, can I swear? My shit, that really kind of like was like a wake-up call, because therapy is not something you just go through motions for. You have to be an active participant, but I understand it's terrifying, and therapy is really about relationship. But I went through many therapists at different stages of my life, and all the therapy was incredible. All the people that they've played a role in some way. But for me, in order to really get to the place I am today, I had to process it through my body, and I haven't been able to do that with a therapist. I did that through my own spiritual journey. There is this shame narrative that happens in all of us every single day, where we're not good enough, we're not smart enough, we're not pretty enough, we're not wealthy enough, we're not good enough, we're not deserving. We will do shameful things as a reaction to some traumas or triggers, and then we shit on ourselves because you either engage in sabotaging behavior, risky behavior, and it all is a product of shame. And it all is to keep you small and to just tell you how much you're not deserving of this life ahead of you. Now I can look and say, I didn't make all the right choices. I'm not proud of everything that I did. It doesn't mean I'm a shameful person. It means sometimes I just didn't know. Sometimes I wasn't able to navigate through something so traumatic because I didn't understand the relationship between that trauma and that emotion, and I just reacted. It doesn't make me a shameful person. Going inward is not easy, and I can completely appreciate why others choose not to go inward, because you face your darkest demons. So when we talk about shame, you're facing all of those traumas that impacted you. Because from my own experience, in order to heal, I had to feel it. And the only way to feel it is to go back. And you think and feel some of the ugliest parts of your life, ugliest narratives, ugliest thought patterns. And to own it and to share it and feel it is dark. But my God, that light after. When you move it through your body, there is light. There is beautiful light ahead. The amount of wisdom that is in our scars, the amount of wisdom that is in our bodies waiting for us to access. And we all have it. It's just trauma traps it. And once you really can take the power of what that wisdom is in your body, that is in that energy, it just transforms you as a person, which then, for me, has been a gift that I hope that I'm able to share. And it comes out in just conversations. It comes in just how you carry yourself. It comes out in a smile. It comes out in your energy and your aura. And that is infectious. And that's how you change community. And that's what I hope becomes someone else's hope. I think we're all on a healing journey. Healing is continuous growth to me. It is the ability to embrace vulnerability. It is the ability for me to know scars don't go away. You don't unknow and unfeel and unsee your traumas, but you learn how to navigate through them. The triggers aren't so impactful. They never go away, but they don't take over your body. They don't control you. And I would have to say for a long time, they controlled me. So healing to me is the ability to navigate through life in a more gentle way with self-love, which allows me to feel really connected and vulnerable. And you can imagine a profession of policing and how comfortable policing is with vulnerability. And it's not necessarily something that policing breeds. But to police with vulnerability, again, is impactful and powerful. How do we then look at policing and look at lived experience and really develop our members that are able to police with compassion, police with empathy, police a community that they are a part of? No one person, sadly, in this world has not experienced some form of trauma. The difference now is we never talked about it. And now we talk about it. Now we're open about it. Now we actually see the significant impacts childhood sexual abuse or traumas are having on society and how they play out in the world. I can tell you, I have family members that struggle with substance abuse. And until I understood that, I didn't necessarily interact in the most compassionate, empathetic way with people who struggle with mental health. And I own that. But as I learned about me, it really helped me to understand and police in a different way, where I want to know your story. And then I want to know what I can do to help. Yeah, there is laws and there's accountability, and we'll deal with that. But there's also human suffering. And how can we deal with that? Because if we can deal with that through compassion and support and understanding versus judgment and shame, we're going to reduce this part of society that acts out. Members of any police force are a community. And what is more important, if we can take care of our own family, we can better serve a community. And it took me years to really mature that way, to really see life that way. But it really helped change and shape and form me more to what can I do in my time in this role. And if we look at statistics, and 1 in 3 females are impacted by childhood sexual abuse and 1 in 5 boys, and you come from large organizations, you have many, many members that have experienced that same trauma. And we're not necessarily in a place where people are open to talk about childhood sexual abuse. That's not where society's at yet, and that is why we're sitting here having this conversation. But my time on this earth left is to be that voice. When I really started to invest in me, because I was worth it, it was because there was a little bit of hope. And I always felt that there's got to be more to life. And the gatehouse that I have been a part of has always been hope, and breeds hope and beauty and love and inclusion. And for anyone that has not yet experienced that, there is that hope, and there is that support, and there is that love, and you are absolutely worth and deserving of all of it. And we all wished for that roadmap, but that roadmap is in your heart, and it does exist. And I always, always, always pray that people see that little glimmer of hope and extend themselves, because there are supports. There are people that have had similar experiences that are always wanting to extend their heart, their hand, their shoulder, their ear. And we are everywhere. Please, please continue to have that little bit of hope, because life is certainly worth it. And it is beautiful and magical. And we are all deserving of that experience.